Alien Isolation, I feel like, you know, around this time every single year it pops up, but it's got like a pretty diehard fan base. And they announced on their 10-year anniversary that they're working on a second one. They said it's in early development according to the creative director. And yeah, we're getting a sequel to that. I never played Alien Isolation, but everyone that has considers it to be like one of the scariest games that they've played.
Knowing you, JP, I don't think you would like it.
Yeah,
It's
No, I've watched a little bit of it, and it looks too spook for me. Not necessarily like, it's not like gore. It's like jump scare tension. Yeah.
It's also a lot of like startle moments, but they're not like cheap. Is what I liked about it. It was like really like they spaced it out very well. The pacing was really good between like, you know, moments of utter terror.
Yeah, I think that's what they were going for. I tried to play this game like 5 years ago, but I played it with my wife and like a heart monitor, and I was streaming it and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure that was the exact wrong way to try and play this game because I didn't have fun and I was like, this is boring. So I'm pretty sure I just played it wrong. I think this game really truly does need for you to sit down in a dark room and then play it like alone, or like I'm probably going to try and stream it again for Halloween actually, but I have to like stay focused on the video game because I think that's what this game deserves.
Sure. So. There's a lot of mods for it as well, by the way, that I know people have, like graphical mods and stuff like that have improved the quality of the game. So if that's something that you're interested in, you should check into it. I know there's also a VR mod for it as well, Bruce, if you want to be fully immersed. That would probably be way too much for me. I mean, Resident Evil 7 VR, I lasted until the bug sequence and I was fucking done. And that game
was disgusting.
That game looked like on PSVR 1, and I was still like, no, I'm not that. So definitely could not enjoy it.
JP, this brings up a bigger point. Like, what prevents you like having that eerie feeling? Does it like too much for you to handle? Like, too much sensory overload? Like, what is it that makes you not play these kind of games?
Oh, you mean on like, why don't I play the spooky games? It's an active imagination. It has nothing to do with the second to second like gameplay of it. It's that night or when the streaming turns off, my active imagination kicks in and I start thinking about like all the shit that could happen, even though it never would. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's also, I can't watch like a lot of scary movies and stuff like that as well, because then I think like, oh, that's a thing. And it's just like, that's a stupid thought, but nope, that's a thing that exists in the world. You got to worry about that now. So
do you find that happens to you more with like supernatural stuff that's not necessarily real, or like the difference between Aliens and Silence of the Lambs? Like Silence of the Lambs, it's possible that could happen. And Aliens probably not going to happen in their lifetime.
Yeah, I mean, I've watched Silence of the Lambs, and it's not, I mean, it is like, it is terrifying, but it's also, I think it's just different, I guess, is ultimately how I'd look at it. I wouldn't say that I enjoyed watching it. I'm glad that I did, because, you know, the acting in it is phenomenal. And there's, you know, while he's not a real person, I guess, depending on who you talk to, there are people that are probably like that. It's just a different type, I think, of like tension or scare factor there.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, I have that, but it's just more dulled down. Like if I play a scary game, like where like things are doing like the peek around the corner at you and then like kind of disappearing, like that shit always gets me. Yeah. And then I'll walk around for the next like couple of days at night and be like,
absolutely,
you know, looking out the bathroom door at the corner of my eye, like, did I?
100%.
Yeah. Well, that's why like PT was such a fucking experience for me, because
my gosh,
I still in Zeke, you went, I think you went to the house, that first house we started doing role play lives for. When you walked in, it had the like chandelier in the center with the stairs up above.
Yep.
And I lived in that house by myself. And I played PT, and then I moved into that house. I wouldn't look up. If I had to go to the kitchen to get water in the middle of the night, I would not look up into the like the whatever you want to call that, the upstairs portion of the house, because it was the exact shot from PT when you look up and that casket is swinging, and then it has the woman standing there or whatever. It was that exact shot. And so that's like what my active imagination was. The second I realized that was all the same, I was like, nah, that, I got to get out of here.
I was just like that whole PT demo is so good, and it was just giving me chills.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I haven't played it in years, and I was just lamenting this, that we never got the full video game. Like I was just like, so bummed.
Yeah.
I've been playing Silent Hill 2, and that was my first exposure to Silent Hill. I've never played any Silent Hill game up until this remake.
Sure.
And I was loving it. I was like, holy shit, this is great. But I did play the PT demo, and I was like, holy hell, like I can't believe this game was never made.
It's still terrifying to this day. I mean,
oh, absolutely.
We just mentioned it, and everyone that's played it was like, oh yeah, that was a
so
motherfucker.
Good.
That was a motherfucker.
Yeah. It's so good.
Yeah. Still probably, I'm trying to think of like other experiences that I know. It's probably the most terrifying like video game thing that I've played through.
Have you ever played Outlast?
No, I've watched full playthroughs of it. I never played it myself. I know everything that happens in Outlast, but I've never played it myself.
Outlast, I think, might be the scariest or creepiest game that I've ever played. Because Outlast 2 is also really scary, but I think the first Outlast is just nightmarish.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of it, because most games don't scare me. I don't get scared by video games usually. Like, unlike you, JP, like video games I don't know why they just don't have the same scare factor that television does or movies for me. I can watch TV movies get super scared and then like have my active imagination just go off for weeks.
Yeah.
But then when it comes to games, not so much. I don't know why.
I'm the opposite. Outlast. Yeah, because in video games, it's me. I'm the person.
Yeah, you're in control.
Like, right.
That's why, like, it's just like I get so much more like tunnel visioned, and like I forget to talk to chat, and I'm just like, sneaking around or trying to avoid the monster or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
And that shit sticks with me. Whereas movies, like, it's been a long time since a movie like had that kind of emotional reaction for me.
For some reason, with movies and TV, I won't watch most scary things, but I will go and read the full like synopsis of it.
The description.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I know exactly what happens in every movie. That's like a big horror movie, but I've never seen it. Like I did that with Long Legs recently. I did that with Hereditary. I know Hereditary is a big one for a lot of people that they're just like, yeah, that movie's fucked up. And like reading the Wikipedia for me was like enough.
It's a nightmare.
I was like,
it's a nightmare.
Nah, I'm good. I'm good.
that Hereditary, Hereditary, I think is the scariest we've ever seen. I only saw it once, and I still have scenes burned into my brain.
Yeah,
from years ago when I watched it. That I'm like, I never want to think about this movie again or watch it again. I don't want to touch. And I still think about it.
Yeah,
like, I don't want to.
Yeah,
like it's a nightmare. It is an absolute nightmare.
I remember the other thing too when it comes to like watching movies, scary movies and stuff like that. I'm one of the worst people to watch them with. I guess to my own how I prefer to watch movies, and that's like no one talks. Zeke knows that firsthand because I told him to not talk when we were seeing a movie. Very, very serious one.
Told, read as threatened.
Yeah, but with horror films, my response in the moment is to laugh. And so if there's like something terrifying happening on screen, I'm just like, oh shit, like that type of stuff is how I react.
Yeah.
And I don't want to like spoil a film for someone that's like fully engrossed. And so I remember seeing The Grudge in theaters when I was I think it was in high school when that came out. And I remember like when the crazy shit happens in the film, I would start laughing and someone in the theater was like, shut the fuck up. Because I couldn't stop laughing. So I was like, okay, all right, I don't need to go see those movies anymore.